Well, hello there.
Hi.
Welcome to another episode of the Tabletop Trio podcast. I'm Bob.
I'm Joe.
And, well, we've got a fun one for you as I'm apparently learning how to run a board for the first time.
We're going to figure it out live.
We haven't done a show since we did Saucetoberfest.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
So, a little rusty here.
Yeah, we only know how to do racing now.
Yeah, apparently we're just iRacing broadcasters.
I don't know what to do if I'm not looking at where the cars are supposed to go.
Right? Like, I need my timing and scoring. I need to be able to see what's going on.
Yeah, there's just so much.
But we've got a fun show for you lined up tonight. 4 a.m. Watch checking in the chat saying hi. Hello. Yeah, it's AI is taking over.
Mm-hmm.
We have feelings.
Yes. It's annoying.
We've been like we mentioned, we've been doing a hell of a lot of iRacing broadcasting. So we'll kind of give you a look into seeing how that works, how that happens, and you know, all the stuff going on with that.
The ins and outs.
I mean,
the amount of programs that people have created.
It makes me feel like I'm doing real life broadcasting.
Yeah, it looks like it. Like some of these specialized programs are kind of wild. Like the one that that we use, at least one of them, is I think it's called SDK Gaming.
Yep, SDK Gaming.
It gives you like a full control panel. Like we were broadcasting like a wrestling event or something. Like camera angles, crashes, notifications, the banners, the everything. Mm-hmm. And you gotta know what you're clicking. It's not automatic. You gotta know what you're pressing and just the detail and the coding and everything else. It's crazy. And then from the hobbyist perspective, learning everything about the program, because you're like, oh, I'll get a program that just helps me broadcast the races. That'll be fun. There's probably like a control panel where you could just change the settings, and then Bob gets the program and it's like, nope, you get to learn coding.
And it's wild to me because I'm like, oh, that's cool. It's super customizable. You could put your logos in places. Like when I would broadcast the TNR races beforehand, I was just the color guy. So I would just sit there, watch the broadcast in Discord, and just add in stuff like you do
me
now. And I'm like, oh man, that looks super cool. That's super customizable. You can add logos and you could change this and change that. Holy hell. There is so much more to that because and honestly, I feel like I'm back in my MySpace days
Yeah.
of, creating your page, editing your top 8,
You're-
adding a profile song, a mouse cursor.
The program is HTML, which
Yeah.
is what MySpace was.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I mean, and it's so in depth. Like you can have, and I don't have this on my side of things, but you could have like their sector times. Like they got through this section of the track faster, then they got through the second section of then the third, and it like gives you all the times broken down and all this stuff. It's just like,
Yeah.
you can have information overload,
Definitely.
and there's so much going on during the race that I'm just like, okay, this is how he's going. These are the laps he's running. Here's what's happening. Oh, look, there's 5 other battles on the track. Let's go look at those. Oh, someone over there just spun out. Let's go right back over to there.
Yeah, it's striking a balance between everything going on and then everything you have to keep track of. Thankfully there are 2 of us, so like I'll try to keep on the crashes, so if something does happen while you're following like the actual racing, I'll be like, and that guy crashed, and then you could just go like, let's go see what's going on.
Oh, the 7 just wrecked. Okay, gotta find the 7. Okay, there he is. Pull him up, change so we can, instant replay screen. Now we can rewind.
I think the hardest part for me is I am atrocious with names, and you're trying to remember all these guys' names while they're racing, but like their names aren't on the cars. Their names are up there in the corner that are constantly moving as they're... So it's not even like they're in one static location. As they pass each other and crash, they move around. So I'm like, all right, 13 just crashed. He was right there. Shit, but everyone just passed him. Where's 13? Where's his name? So I'm like, 13 crashed, and I'm trying to remember who 13 is, but my brain just is like, Google Gaga toilet paper shithole. And I'm like, well, 13. 13 is what it was.
Yeah. And then on my side of things, I'm busy calling the race of what's going on. You say, okay, 13 crashed. I look over to my monitor, like my second monitor, and it does the same thing as it does on the screen where they change positions. So I'm sitting there, and if you ever see me like click on 5 different cars, that person just passed the guy I was clicking on. So I'm just like constantly chasing the name down the running order.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's a lot. There's a lot that goes into it. And I mean, for what it is, I know it is a lot of work, but it is also like a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I have been having so much fun because it's a new skill. Being able to do the podcast and talk with you guys and chat, that's one thing. Commentating is like, I thought it would be.
Oh God.
Well then.
Sorry. There was like something on the screw, and I'm like trying to flick it off, and
you just cut it. See, now my ADHD is gone. Just like that. No, I thought since we've been doing the podcast, and I've been doing the podcast thing for a while, and
it's been 3 years now.
And before that, I was doing video game stuff. So like, I've always had a consistent kind of. I'm always streaming something.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting to roll into like color commentating and broadcasting to kind of be just completely different. Because you don't have any control over what the guys are doing. When I'm live streaming a video game, I have control to do something stupid.
Yes.
Or, yeah,
you can kind of anticipate what's going to happen.
Yeah, what I'm going to do. And that not that it's a relief, but like you could play around that. Podcast. We know the topics. We might go off topic.
we have a loose outline of what we might be talking about.
We have a very loose outline of today. And like / future, whatever. If it
Today,
comes up, it comes up.
And over the last few months.
Yeah, whatever we don't, it just stays on here. But at least if something happens, again, we could roll back into, I know that there's something here to chat about and figure it out. But when we're doing the broadcast for iRacing, we don't know what's going to happen. So it's a lot of, instead of I know what I want to talk about and I know what I'm talking about and what I'm saying makes sense and is factual, with broadcasting, it's like I'm speculating about this, I'm speculating about that. I have no idea what he's thinking, so I think maybe he's doing this or he might do this. It's a lot of just trying to play the field, so to speak.
Yes. Yeah. And not only is it playing the field, when the time comes, you can either look like a genius. I knew this is going to happen. I told you this is what the strategy was going to be. Or we could sit there and be like, all right, we have 10 minutes left in the race. Okay, that was 10 minutes ago. I don't know what the hell's happening now.
Yeah.
Like, perfect example was last night's race. And if you have the chance, I highly, highly implore you to watch the Speed Xfinity Series race at Indianapolis Raceway Park, or IRP. I forget the exact name of the video.
IRP.
It's in it's in the live tab on the YouTube channel. Watch that video, because that was probably our most solid broadcast.
It was chaotic
because of how much chaos it was.
7.
And there were so many things at stake. There was like a countdown timer instead of laps. They got into overtime. There was all this other stuff going on.
Yeah, there were like 4 laps left when the countdown timer ended, so they pushed it into overtime anyway. So the countdown timer didn't mean anything. There were like 7 or 8 caution flags, which is insane. And
apparently our timer was off quite a bit.
Oh, is that what it
and
was?
And one of the guys in the league afterwards messaged me. They're like, "Hey, I'm gonna buy you a new timer because that was completely off."
So like, it was a wild race, but it was really fun to call. It was a lot of speculation because we didn't know what anything is going to happen.
No,
it's a timer. So that was really fun, but it ends up just like there's a level of, I don't know what's going to happen, but you still gotta have fun with it. That's like the number one. You gotta have fun. And you got to sound like a little bit what you're knowing, like what you're doing.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where it is so much fun to do. And it definitely takes a very different skill set than you really think you need.
Yeah.
Because you can sit there and be like, oh yeah, that's what happened. This guy was up here, he spun out and he crashed and he hit the wall. Okay, cool. Why? You know what I mean? And I've always said, like, even when you first started doing these races at the beginning of the season, I had said, okay, play-by-play driver, think of it like an artist. The play-by-play broadcaster is the one who takes the pencil and sketches in, like, okay, here's a person, here's the outline of the person, you have their hair and their hat, there's a house in the background, and the sun is in the sky. It's the color commentator to say, okay, well, this person's probably about 6'2". They've got, curly brown hair. He's wearing an orange baseball cap, and the sun has sunglasses on. Like, it's your job to add that color, add that, extra picture to what's going on. And oftentimes I kind of feel like the color guy has the harder job over the play-by-play guy.
I don't know. When you have to list off everybody's names and all the other stuff, and then like that crash last night that involved like 8 cars, you had to figure out who crashed where, when, and into who. And I'm over here like, yeah, first guy swerved, second guy went, ah! And then everyone else in the pack went, my brakes don't work fast enough. And that was kind of it.
Yeah, literally the entire field was caught up in that crash. It was insane. But yeah, and it's been so much fun doing these races so far.
I love it. I love the people that have come out to watch. We got a bunch of people who are always active and cheering for guys, and then the guys who are racing come back and watch it later because they like the commentating of everything going on. So like they like the broadcast afterwards, then they want to see what they did wrong or what they did right, and so they go back and watch them. So that's kind of cool. Is like they get like practice tape, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, you and like from the channel perspective, we basically get double the views.
Yeah.
Because oftentimes the drivers will have the broadcast on while they're racing. Because I don't know if you've noticed a few times during TNR at least, we'll say something of like, oh, I don't know where XYZ driver is. All of a sudden they show up in the place I wanted them to go to, and I'm like, okay, I see you.
I get it.
John, I'm looking at you.
And then the other big thing, I think we bought it up before we went on our very short hiatus for Wednesdays, but the people who have been watching were like, oh my God, I didn't know this league existed, blah, blah, blah. How do we get in there? And now there's, I think, 3 or 4 people who have joined the leagues to race.
Yeah.
Which is just such a cool, satisfying thing to do. Like, as a person that's just sharing content and broadcasting for these guys who are racing, to be like, yep, here's new blood to go race with and have more fun, because they just seemed so interested and it looked like so much fun that they are now joining. That's such a good feeling.
Oh, yeah. It's like, hey, look what we brought to the table. Like,
yeah, this
is kind of awesome.
No, I just realized there were 3 people, so we bought a trio to the table.
Bravo. That was fantastic. God damn it. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Monday nights, 8 o'clock Eastern, both here on Twitch and YouTube. You can check out the Total Nonstop Racing League. Tuesday nights is the Speed Xfinity Series, Tuesdays at 9. And this week's races are going to be insane.
Yeah.
TNR is at Kentucky, so it's going to be pretty crazy to watch the cars handle there. Speed is at a fantasy track.
Yeah.
Track doesn't exist. It's the only one that doesn't exist in iRacing. No restrictor plates, so these guys are probably hitting about 240, 250 in the draft. So cars will go flying. So that's going to be a completely different set of skills, racing, etc.
Love that.
And it's going to be a ton of fun. Hey, Stan Hausman is in the chat. Said that's a testament to you guys. A good broadcast is a great recruiting tool. Thank you, Stan. Appreciate you. Stan races in the Tuesday night Speed series.
Yeah, it's been a ton of fun. I love the communities. I love the racing. I love just everything that this channel has been growing so far has just been great. And there is a ton more that we are working with. Like we said earlier, we're doing PAX Unplugged again this year, which is so exciting. We potentially will be at a couple hobby shops around the Jersey location.
Keep back here, tabletoptrio.com for updates.
Yeah, just so many things that we are working on all the time. That our icon with all those things on it, we still hold true to all of those things.
Yeah.
And I feel like we show love to all of them equally.
We do. Like, we do so many things. And it's one of those things where, we're a hobby podcast. And, our tagline is anything you can do on a table.
Yeah.
This is going to sound really corny and really cheesy. But the fact that, like, we can kind of come together, sit at this table, and just talk about the things we enjoy. Like, we talk about hobbies and the people that enjoy them.
Yeah.
Between going to hot sauce like, who would have thought when we first started doing this?
You can give
we would be
1,000. You can give me 1,000 guesses.
We would be involved in the hot sauce community in the East. Not even just like a certain area.
This is the East Coast.
Literally the East Coast.
Yeah.
We're broadcasting not one but 2 iRacing leagues.
Yeah, I would never have called that one.
We're getting media credentials to PAX Unplugged.
Yeah. I thought they were just going to laugh at us.
Honestly. Well, I know we've told this story before, but when we got to the media room or the press room for PAX, we're sitting there and there's this group of like professional cosplayers.
Yeah.
And they're sitting there like, oh yeah, this video only got 75,000 likes. I think I'm just gonna get rid of it. This was stupid. It's hurting my numbers.
Yeah.
And we just sat there slack-jawed. We're like, we got 5 likes on a picture of a vampire riding a Roomba, and we thought it was amazing.
Yeah, it was one of those like humbling moments, but then also like, how did we got here?
Yeah, why?
They let us here?
Why us?
And then like, even then I felt like, so they had like, the guys had like the little gimbal cameras and their cell phones, and that was like all they were using for content. And I had my giant backpack, my 2 cameras, chargers in the camera, like in the backpack so that the batteries stay alive. I had the camera stand. I had microphones. I had wireless microphones. I had like a full kit. And these guys are over here with a fucking camera and like
Samsung Galaxy.
Yeah, and a gimbal. And I'm like, fuck. Like, on the one hand, I feel way more prepared than you are. But like, yeah, your views don't. Yeah, all right. Yeah.
Well, I think it's going to be good this year for PAX 2, where we will be maybe packing slightly lighter.
No. If anything, I'm packing more.
Yeah, that's fair. But at least, knock on wood, I'm not going to be like dead and useless.
That is true.
Threw my back out last year during or just before PAX.
It was bad.
I survived barely the first day. The second day, I had to go home.
Yeah.
And the third day, all 3 of us were just like,
yeah, there was no third day. Between him having his back thrown out, and then I was the friggin' pack mule the whole weekend. And like I just announced all of that stuff, it was about 45 to 55 pounds of equipment on my spine.
Yeah.
And I had to carry it all day and then record the segments and then carry it again. So like by the first day we went home, back to Angie's house. I was like, please, she's like, you want me to crack my back? And I was like, anything. And she snapped it, and it was so loud the dog was confused. He thought someone just broke like a whole rack of ribs for him.
And I mean, Poppy literally just sat there and she just did the in the chat, Ace House says, you guys do a fantastic job broadcasting. Watch my first race at Charlotte, like 9 full playthrough in like 2 days. Thank you, Ace. Appreciate it.
It's been
Ace
great.
is one of the drivers that
He is
watching the broadcast and joined in.
Yep, it's fantastic. It was great. I love it. So yeah, I'm excited for PAX. I'm excited for the future. I'm excited for all the places that we've been attempting to go and kind of now starting to hear back. And
yeah, well, and PAX is only 2 months away.
Oh God,
there's a lot we still need to prep for.
Yeah. There might be a new camera for PAX 2, which means 3 cameras to bring instead of 2.
Oh no.
Yeah,
I'm terrified.
Well, that one's meant for video. You know, you gotta stay fresh.
Right.
But
we can't let Possum Jesus show us up.
Yeah, it's
yeah. That professional cosplayer was dressed as Possum, but also Jesus. It was wild.
Speaking of. Yeah, that was a weird transition, but somehow there is. Speaking of, I think
concerned.
I think I got my Halloween costume this year.
Possum Jesus,
Dice Christ. See, I got the beard. I found online D20s that have all 20s on them, and then the other one is all 1s.
The Dice Devil versus Dice Christ.
I got the 3. I have my laser scanner, so I'm gonna get a rock, like a stone, and then etch the cover of the player's handbook. Like the 10 Commandments. I have dreams. I have hopes.
You have a laser engraver.
I have a laser. That's the problem. When you give me toys, like the stupidity is what comes out, not the useful things. I don't make anything that's usable. I make dumb stuff.
Well, and the fact that we started the night, I get to your house, we're chatting for a little bit, and you're like, I got a new toy.
Mm-hmm.
And you just rip off the lid to a beer can.
Yeah.
I don't. The amount of weird shit that you find and use or whatever.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Honestly, I'm impressed.
Yeah, a lot of people are. Everyone comes over and they're like, so what new toy or thing do you have, or gadget or thing? And I'm like, I got this one, and this one's new, and this one over here is pretty new. They're like, where? How? And I'm like, I don't know.
It's like the living embodiment of a junk drawer. Yeah. I didn't know I needed that thing until you had that thing, but now I need the thing, and here it is.
Mm-hmm. It happens a lot. People come here and they're like, where'd you find that? How do I get one? I'm like, oh, you go here. How do you have one? I was bored one day and I thought it maybe didn't exist, and then I Googled it and it does exist, so I bought one.
And now it's here.
So
there it is.
Yeah. Speaking of,
yes,
that is what reminded me of AI crap.
Okay.
Is I had an idea and I wanted to do a thing, and I was just Googling around and trying to figure it out, and I got just so annoyed at like where we are in the world that I feel like there's got to be a better way.
How so?
So it's not that I long for better times. It's that I'm real tired of companies lately. And
aren't we all?
And like everything they stand for.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing that set me off was, well, it was two-part. It was the TV. So I think it was LG announced that if you use a screensaver built into your TV, like your smart TV, they'll start putting ads into that screensaver. No way to turn it off. No, it's here now. Exists. Have fun. Walmart bought Vizio, and the only reason they bought Vizio was because Vizio already established a huge foothold into people's houses,
mm-hmm.
and they want to use all of those smart devices to collect more information. So that was the second part.
Jeez.
And then a third TV company has, I forget who it was, basically been like not backdooring your network, but has been spying on almost everything you do that is related to the TV and anything around the TV and or your network if it's plugged into your network. And then transmitting all of that data so that they have all of that to push ads and stuff like that and sell that data. So
that is so scary.
Yeah. So those three things combined led me to what happened to dumb devices that were good.
Mm-hmm.
Like now, and kind of even then, when people bought like the dumb device, it was usually just the shitty device that they didn't want to put money into to make a device.
Yeah.
So like, here's a little boombox. It has AM, FM, and a CD player. It's $35. The speakers were from like the dollar store. Have fun. And that was the dumb one. And if you wanted the fancy one, it was like $300 or $400 and it had all the stuff on it.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's the dumb one is even cheaper.
Yeah.
And then the good one sells all your information.
Yeah.
There's no in between.
Dude, I had to buy an air conditioner a couple of months ago.
Mm-hmm.
I could not get one that wasn't Wi-Fi enabled.
I have an exhaust fan on my house. Like the little mushroom exhaust fans. They don't sell the non-Wi-Fi version near me. So my exhaust fan, which literally just turns on when it's above X temperature,
mm-hmm.
is smart.
Yeah. Like, I can appreciate the fact that I can set a schedule for the air conditioner.
Mm.
But I don't need the internet for it. Like, yeah, I can turn on my air conditioning now if I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, in the heat of the summer, when it's 100 degrees outside,
yeah.
I'm not home. I know I'll be home in about an hour. I'll turn it on, let it cool the room down. I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where it kind of ends.
But I don't need them selling when I'm turning it on and what's on the network and everything around it. And like,
They're going to see some weird shit at my.
well, I know I'm tech savvy. So like, I can create VLANs and I can kind of separate everything into its own little thing so that you can't snoop at what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But that's not the everyday user. And
No.
the big one that I was thinking was smartwatches. I like all of the health and benefits that come from a smartwatch. Lets me know if I have heart issues. Let me know if I'm having, I think that Apple just announced that they're going to be doing something heart attack related, and then something else that was already, but now it's like even more like they cleared it, like some testing.
It can look at your like the oxygen level of your blood.
Yeah, well, these do that, but
And
there's
like
a
those
new
kind of things.
There's a new thing that came out on the, I guess the newest one, and it's like for like medical, like actually medical purposes, and it is like approved by insurance and blah blah blah. So it's really going to be like a new thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's great. Downside, everyone knows about your thing because Apple's going to sell all that data. Same with Samsung, same with Google, same with everything else. I was like, man, I wish I had enough money to just design a smartwatch and just make it like not stupid, but like everything that these could do, we put it in a smartwatch, and then we just don't sell your information. It's like a real simple thing is we just make it, and then you buy it, and then you pay us like $1 or $2 a month to keep the lights on and the server running. And then we just don't have your information. That's the end of the transaction. And I know that's like, well how
and
are
then
you
know Jeff Bezos and Mr. Amazon and all that are going to be like,
yeah, we're gonna get
hey,
shot.
how much
How much
use did I have?
I'd be like, no, you don't get any of that.
You want another house?
No.
You want your parents to have a
No,
house?
I have morals. Leave me alone. I don't care.
But I have money.
I don't care if I make nothing out of it. I just want people to have the healthy thing and do the thing. Or buy a TV that just fucking works and looks nice. I don't want it to do any of the smart shit, but I don't want it to be stupid and cheap. I want just quality, normal shit. And I feel like there's
Good old
gotta
quality shit.
There's gotta be a market for that.
I'm sure there is, but they get bought up.
You just need to have morals.
Morals don't pay your bills.
That's true, but like, like I know it'd probably be a little bit more. Like if I designed this watch just like exactly like this watch, and then I sold it, I'm sure it'd be like double the cost of what this one is.
Oh yeah,
but you'd have all your privacy because I'm not gonna sell your shit. That's all I want.
Yeah. And like the way I kind of look at things, it's like, okay, I'm nobody. Like, who cares? I mean, yeah, I, look at my, oh, here are the browsing habits. Here's what I'm more inclined to buy. Here's where I lean looking at, this topic or that topic. Like, it's important info.
Oh, they want all your information.
But to me, it's just like,
oh no, it's your age.
Because trust me, I hate it. But at the same time, I'm sitting there, it's like, all right, it's kind of the cost. Nothing's free. It's the cost of doing business in 2024. I get it. I hate it, but like...
Well, until it gets worse.
Oh, well, yeah.
Until, insurance companies could look at your browsing data and realize that you have an issue. Or they could look at your health from your Fitbit. Or they could look at your DNA that you put online and then tell you that you're not approved for X, X, and X, or X, X, and X because you have a predetermined marker.
Yeah.
Or we notice that your heart rate is a little bit higher than normal, or your blood oxygen level is a little bit low, and blah, blah, blah. Or all of a sudden you'll start getting ads for like this thing because your watch says one thing, or, you watched a show on TV, so now your ad around your whole house gets pushed to that TV show that you were watching. And it's just, I don't want to deal with that. Like, I have a pie hole in my house. If any of you are like remotely IT-ish savvy, get yourself a Raspberry Pi, install Pi hole. It takes like 45 minutes. It's worth it. It's so worth it.
I'm going to be bringing my Raspberry Pi over next week.
Yeah, it's 100% worth it.
I don't know anything about it. Someone gave it to me years and years ago.
You don't need a good one. You just need one. But yeah, no, so mine, Pi-hole, basically every computer or everything needs a DNS address, which is like, so I'm going to go to google.com. It's not actually google.com. Google.com is like several IP addresses, but you type Google, the DNS goes, oh, you mean this, and then sends it out. So Pi-hole acts as a private DNS of your house. So before any of your traffic leaves the house or enters the house, it goes into the Pi-hole and then gets dispersed. So Pi-hole is a great piece of software that has ad blocking built in, malware blocking built in. If you have a child, you could put like website blocking built in, all done right on the device. It blocks like 35 to 45% of my internet traffic. That's how many ads we have.
Holy cow.
Yeah. So like I could actually probably pull it up here. It's wild how much that it blocks on a day-to-day basis.
That's insane. Like, cause I love seeing those, like, they're like little clips on like, you know, YouTube or whatever, where it's like, all right, is this device that I bought off of Temu actually safe to use in your home?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, this one pinged Russia 30,000 times. It's just like, okay, never mind.
There you go. I have had in the last 24 hours, 48,150 queries of internet tracks, so things that have popped up. Of that, 15,569 and counting are blocked.
Damn.
So 32.3% today.
Holy shit.
Yeah. It's wild. It's wild how much they are looking at your stuff.
Yeah, I'm bringing that Raspberry Pi over next week.
Yeah.
Or even tomorrow, just be like, hey, help.
And the crazy part is, look how many are blocked on Bing.com. We don't use Bing.
Damn.
We don't use Bing at all.
Yeah.
Microsoft wants your stuff. So
I feel like we're getting into tinfoil hat territory, but that is wild.
That's not tinfoil
It's
hat.
not.
It
It's
would be
not.
tinfoil hat if I was making speculation. This is just a fact. This is blocking.
Bezos and the Bill Gates, like,
You just went full Yoda.
traffic I won.
Oh man. But yeah, no, I just want dumb stuff. That's all.
Dude, I miss dumb stuff.
I have a Zune downstairs. I have my Zune HD. I was this fucking close to like buying the cable. I already have the battery. It's on my eBay account. Like I'm ready to go. It's $13. It's gonna take me 3 months to get here because it's firmly in China. And I almost bought my Zune back. And then I talked to Elaine and she's like, "What are you gonna do with it?" I'm like, "I don't know." She's like, "Where? Are you, like, do you even have music for that?" And I was like, the old one that's in there. Like I don't, because who fucking downloads music anymore?
Yeah.
You just it's Spotify and it's YouTube music, and it's not downloadable. It's only streamable, and if it is downloaded, it stays in the thing. You can't actually like pull it to a device.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't know. I guess I have to like go put my hat back on and go find it and then put it on there again.
Just
and
go
then,
walk to the bus.
yeah, and then
Pretend I'm back in high school.
I don't know, put it around the house or plug it in the car and not have to deal with internet. I don't know. I want dumb stuff again. I'm just tired of ads everywhere and like I put YouTube on shuffle and it shuffles the same 12 artists. Like you have at your disposal how many algorithms of what I like to listen to, and you give me the same 12 artists.
Dude, I was listening. I have a playlist on Spotify, literally just called Stuff I Like. It's songs that I like. I throw it on there. Cool. I hit shuffle, and there's literally probably 4 days worth of music in the playlist. I hit shuffle, 3 songs from the same artist back to back to back. out of the thousands of songs on this. And it's always the same, like, 5 artists.
So that's
and I'm
why.
just like, how? Why?
So I'm lazy. I don't do playlists. I don't know. I never had the attention span. So I used to love Pandora when Pandora first came out.
Oh, I loved Pandora.
Where, here's a song that I like, go figure it out. And Pandora would do a pretty good job and get it sorted. And then if I didn't like something, I'd hit the don't like button. And then it would it would find what I'm looking for. And I'm like, that's great. And then they ruined it. So I was like, okay, well, that was fun while it lasted.
Mm-hmm.
So then I went to Spotify and I'm like, oh, Spotify, it has the For You list thing.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
I'm
I love that.
And I was like, perfect. So I click it and it kind of worked, but it would always, again, give me the same 12 artists. And I'm like, but what about the rest?
Yeah.
I know there are more. So I switched over to YouTube because I have YouTube Premium. They give you YouTube music there. So I was like, give it a whirl. Let's see what it's about.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be higher quality than Spotify. So why
Give
not?
it a shot. Yeah.
So it does the For You as well. So I was like, cool, let's do the For You. And again, it works. It spreads it out into multiples now. So if genres are too different, they'll just do a super list for you and a super list number 2. But recently, I was listening to Alter Bridge and the Linkin Park, all that kind of stuff.
Great band.
Yeah, I was like,
Great band.
really cool playlist, great time, good stuff. Then I'm thinking about it. And I was like, why haven't they put Godsmack in there? Which is firmly in that genre and age and everything else.
Maybe a little heavier
than Alter Bridge? Nah.
Eh.
That's a stretch. That's the dad rock genre.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't put Creed in there. But so I'm getting tired of the smart AI crap because I feel like it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
They say it's a big thing and it's this and it's that, but it's all marketing. The day that a thermal paste came out, I think it was Coarse Hair, you're going to need to cut it the fuck out.
Oh, God.
You got to stop. They released thermal paste. Thermal paste is a thing that goes between your computer, CPU, and the heatsink. So it just takes the hot and then transfers the hot to the other metal thing so that the metal thing takes the hot away. It's all it's meant to do. It's literally just goop. They released a new line of AI thermal paste. And they came in 7 different colors. How in the fuck do you put AI into goop? It doesn't have electric. It doesn't have a processor. It can't machine learn. It can't learn anything. It's goop. It's literally a thing to conduct heat. And you called it AI thermal paste. What are we doing? What are we doing?
That's embarrassing. Oh my God.
That's like me buying a regular light bulb and then being like, it's an AI light bulb. And it's a regular light bulb. That's all it is. And they charge more for it.
That is so dumb. You know what? Those stupid people are parted with their money quite easily. Look at today's climate.
I know. It's just you like the people you're trying to fool. You can get away with snake oil stuff to some people, and that's cool. But you're trying to target tech professionals with snake oil sales. What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah.
Do you think that the IT people who actually do research and know about this stuff are going to be like, oh my God, AI thermal is pink. Ah! It's not going to happen.
Their marketing strategy is to go for the lowest common denominator.
Yeah. They released a $4,700 computer that is being dragged through the mud on YouTube by literally every tech YouTuber for being dog shit.
Amazing.
Because in their marketing material, they market it as unhindered performance or unsomething performance, basically.
It's goop.
No, this was the whole computer.
Oh,
it was like a gaming computer.
Oh, yeah.
A $4,700 gaming computer, which they did the math on. If you just bought it and like DIY'd it, it was like $3,000. So like the markup is almost $2,000, which is insane. But they're dragging them through the mud because with all of this firmly false advertising, their computer is overheating, like hitting the thermal limit, and thus having to slow down. So it is compromised. That was it. It was uncompromised performance is what they call it several times in the marketing for this thing. And it is like all the YouTubers are like, nope, firmly compromised. In fact, literally what it is
I guarantee you there's like a little bit of tiny print, like with an asterisk, just like, well, actually, we meant there were no compromises. We did not compromise on what we put into the machine.
Oh, no.
This does not mean that you are going to be compromising on your performance.
Oh, no. It's firmly. And then the guy found out, like, they underclocked the processor. So out of the gate, you're getting a little bit less than someone who just made it. It is bad. It's bad. And I'm a little terrified of that because Corsair is gigantic.
Yeah.
And they've been on a buying spree.
They just bought, what, Fanatec, I think it was?
Yeah. Which is not good news.
Yeah.
It's not good news at all.
No.
So,
I mean, I was never going to buy Fanatec to begin with, but that was a whole...
I was thinking about it.
At the time, their customer service was like Xfinity level.
Yeah, that's why I didn't. But so Corsair bought them, which is meh. And then they have Elgato, and then they bought another company, I think, they bought someone. They've just been on a buying spree.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, they're releasing all of their normal products are just getting worse.
Yeah.
And
spreading themselves a little too thin.
Yeah, and it feels
I'm afraid
bad.
to open IQ because every time I open IQ, something breaks.
Yeah, I always get an update, and then when I do the update, something else stops working.
Yeah.
Like, every time. And I'm worried because, like, 90% of my system is IQ.
Yeah.
I didn't really have a say. I needed a radiator, and I was matching my system. It was white. I needed a white radiator. I went to the store. That was the only white radiator. I needed to get that one. I had the fans already. Fans are expensive, especially for RGB fans. So I'm not going to go buy 6 new fans when I already had 6 fans. I only needed 3 more.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get the one that matches already. I had the RAM. Again, I needed white. It happened to be white. It just is what it is. But now I'm like, uh-oh, this is not great for the future.
Well, and speaking of like future AI, that kind of stuff, Spotify, I don't know if you know this, Spotify has an AI DJ.
Oh, I heard that was a thing. I haven't used Spotify in a minute.
It is bizarre. After the show, I'll show it to you.
Mm-hmm.
It's very bizarre because it gets top 40 style DJ mannerisms where it's very casual. Hey man, let's get, and it uses your name.
Oh.
So it's, hey Bob, we've got blah, blah, blah coming up. I heard you I understand you've been listening to a lot of this. So let's get you a throwback. Here's Linkin Park. And it talks up the song. However, it doesn't have like the cues in there to like talk up a song and actually going radio here, but like actually hitting the post where you talk and you're done talking as the lyrics start up. It doesn't do that. So it'll talk over. If it's a 0 intro song, it talks over the intro of the song.
Gotcha.
Which there are a few things that they could do better to make it sound more lively. But at the same time, like,
that's weird.
I listened to it a few times just to be like,
asking for that?
No. Because Spotify's like, hey, remember when you used to listen to radio? And I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah, that's a weird.
That's my job.
So the thing that
literally AI
took your job
can and will likely take my job at some point.
Yeah.
And with the whole history of radio, I swear I could teach like a radio class and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Disc jockeys got their name because they were quite literally jockeying records around.
Mm-hmm.
So, and before automation systems and before all that, it was one guy in a studio for 4 to 6 hours. Okay, here's this. I have this over here on this record player. I've got this record player over here. Then they evolved. They moved away from records and they went into basically cassettes called carts.
Isn't that like the equivalent of 8 tracks?
Yes, but 1 track.
Oh.
And you would have a bay, usually about 4. And you'd go in, and you're literally like the old days like switchboard operators. You have a whole rack in the studio of just nothing but carts, and they're usually color coded and all that kind of stuff. You have your log to see, okay, you're playing this song, then this sweeper, and then this song. So you're going in and you're plugging your card in, you're hitting play, take the next one in, rewind the third one, you're constantly moving around. That's why songs, you know how older songs are usually around like the 2.5 to 3 minutes range, because they'd fit on a cart.
Oh, is that the reason we have a Indigata Davida radio edit?
Yeah.
Which is firmly not 17 minutes long.
Yeah. And any of the longer songs like Stairway, like Bohemian Rhapsody, like Hotel California, in the business, those songs are called poop songs. They are straight up poop songs, because at the time, as a jock, you're constantly moving things around.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have that 8.5 minute, 8.5 minute long Stairway to Heaven, you got time to run to the bathroom. So you're constantly doing that. And then when automation systems started picking up, jocks were horrified, because they're like, you're taking my job away. Because there was an art form to talking up songs, talking down songs, talking while you're getting the next song set up and ready to go, moving from one song to another, like doing it. That is an art form. And you still get to do that a little bit when it comes to automation systems. You can actually sit there and like put it into full manual mode. Like with at least the system that we use, there's a auto, semi-auto, and manual. And most of the time you are in semi-auto mode, where it'll sit there. You can set up a stop sign that tells the song to stop. You can fire off the next one, whatever. Anyway, I'm getting off topic here, but when it comes to AI, that is one thing. Radio execs at the big companies, like your Odyssey, like iHeart, like SiriusXM, they don't want to pay anyone anything.
Right.
So they're going to sit there and say, I can have this computer program line up. We can pay the company and buy the rights for it. Here is this DJ voice. There was a station that tried it out in like Seattle, Washington. Their ratings fell through the toilet when they switched to an AI jock. And they're just like,
people don't want to hear it.
Oh, people don't want that. Yeah. No. And it affects everyone in the business's bottom line.
Of course.
Because if no one's listening, no one's buying advertising. Right. No one's buying advertising, no money comes in the station. No money comes in the station, no one has a job.
No station.
Yeah. So it all determines the product.
Yeah. It's
whether written, whether on air, whether social media, all of it.
It's wild. I don't know where we're gonna go with AI. It's kind of annoying. Especially because everyone's, it's AI this and it's AI that, and it's like, it's just machine learning, guys. We haven't even gotten to real AI yet. We're just
there's no intelligence there. It's
just machine learning. You feed a thing, and then it learns the thing, and then it tries to reproduce the thing based on what you fed it. It's machine learning. No AI yet has been like, that's a good idea, I'm gonna expand on that. No one does that because it's not there yet.
It's basically a very advanced Google search.
Yeah.
That's the way you have to look at things like Chat GPT and that kind of stuff. You ask it and have it do the same thing. You would be like, hey, Google, what is this? Or it does things you wouldn't always wanted Google to do.
Well, now Google has, I think it's called Gemini.
They do, yeah.
So instead of using Google, use Gemini, and then Gemini answers. I used Google often on my phone for dumb things. Set a timer for 30 minutes. Set an alarm for 5 o'clock. Gemini overtook my phone. I turned on the thing. I was like, oh, I got to cook something. Set a timer for 30 minutes. And Gemini went, I'm sorry, I can't do that. And I was like, the fuck you mean?
You can't.
You took the one away that I used, put it in its place, and then removed features.
I'm honestly curious now. Because they updated Siri for iPhones.
Mm-hmm.
Set a timer for 5 minutes. Okay, it set the timer, but it didn't say anything to me.
Huh. Yeah, mine just says I can't do that. I'm like, what the? They're like, if you want to go back, go do these 37 steps. And I'm like, hey, go back. Uninstall yourself. I don't want you to be here anymore. This is garbage. And then I yelled at Google because it was trying to say something really long that I didn't ask for while I was driving.
That infuriates me with my Amazon installed listening device.
So I yelled. I was like, shut the fuck up! And it was like, well, you didn't have to yell. I may be artificial intelligent, but I have feelings. I was like, no one fucking cares!
And no, you don't!
And no, you don't!
Dude, I did that this morning. I'm like, oh, hey, what's the weather? It's like, oh, currently it's 30, it's 60 degrees and blah, 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 blah. By the way, do you want me to give you notification? I'm like, no, I never wanted you to. I just want the weather.
Yeah.
65 and cloudy. That's all I need.
Yeah. I wish I could do what I do with ChatGPT with like the phones. ChatGPT will give me a full 6-paragraph thing with a question I asked. And I just go, shorter. And then it does it again. And then I go, shorter. Until it's 2.5 sentences. And I'm like, perfect. Dude, I wish I could do that for everything on my phone.
At work, we some people have to write articles and that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And oftentimes you'll have to create either you obviously have to create the headline for the story, but you'll also have to create app alerts. And we had this whole training course where they're like, all right, here's how you can use ChatGPT to help you. Where you can literally put in the link and say, give me 25 eye-catching headlines for a listener in New Jersey. And it'll go in and give you all of those. And then you could be like, I like this, I hate this, I like this, let's merge these two together, done. Yeah. Now give me an app alert in 35 characters or less using emojis. And it'll give you heart eye emoji. This is the best date place in insert town here. That is super useful.
Yes. Speaking of.
But the other shit.
Email people. Stop putting re in your fucking subjects if it's the first time I've emailed you or you have emailed me. Oh, that. I yelled at someone today.
You have new alerts.
No, re in the subject. Just re.
Oh, that's another one that drives me insane.
Oh, they had one. So I do a lot of Kickstarter stuff. This one company who did Kickstarter stuff, now every single time they send an email, say, please respond. Like it's a backing thing. Your response is requested.
I hate that
so it's like a Kickstarter thing, because that's usually what you say when something is backed and then your pledge was done. Mm-hmm. You have to go respond to the request of the thing. So that's normal.
Yeah.
This company has been doing it, and then when you click it, it's an ad for whatever they're trying to start on Kickstarter. So I just called the company today. I unsubscribed, and I called the company because they've done it now 6 times in a row. Mm. So it's not even like they did it once. They did it once, realized it worked, and then now started doing it. So I called the company. I had the guy picked up the phone, and I was like, could you fucking stop? And he's like, what? Excuse me? And I was like, your fucking email messages are the worst fucking clickbait bullshit. I unsubscribed. You're horseshit. Your company is horseshit. Do better. And then I just hung up the phone. I was so annoyed.
I guarantee the guy's just like, what?
He knows what he did.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's so annoying. I hate everything now has to be like clickbait. Everything, nothing is just like, here's the thing you should buy because it's great. It's none of that. It has to be like a fucking trick for someone to click your email. It's email. It's my email. If I gave you my email, it means you should email me things that are interesting or important, not bullshit clickbait. I'm not going to like fucking MSN to get to your thing. Yeah. I don't need the clickbait article.
Yeah.
I hate it. I hate it.
I will say, I saw the other day on an ad for Kickstarter, because I'll get those every now and then, and one of them got me. I saw this ad. It basically takes a mixer and a Stream Deck thrown together.
Isn't that the new Rode?
No. It's a 4-channel mixer, USB interface, all that kind of stuff, but it's modular.
Oh yeah,
it's like mega something.
I've been getting hits on that. It's like a thing like that, and then you put the things on.
Yes,
yeah.
It is so cool. So I looked it up. I'm like, oh, all right, like this could be something I might actually back.
Yeah,
$400, and I'm just like,
that's not terrible.
Yeah, but
did you see the new Rode that came out?
Because I'm sitting there and I'm just like, I have my Focusrite. I've got my one XLR interface.
It's not for you.
I've got my Stream Deck.
Yeah,
I like what I have, but if they could all be combined, I mean, I just bought my Focusrite and I'm obsessed with it, dude. I love this thing.
Oh no, they're great.
It makes me. It's what I use when I broadcast the races.
He does sound great.
I think it makes me sound so good.
He does. He sounds great.
To the point where I'm actually going to go to my boss next week and be like, hey, I know you prefer me coming into the office to record my shift because, surprise, I'm not actually live when I'm on the air on Sundays.
Yeah.
It's all voice tracked. It's all that's another. Anyway, I think I sound good enough using that Focusrite that I could record my entire shift from home.
I think so.
And not have it sound weird.
No.
Because with our station, it has very famous reverb. Like if you're a radio person, you know our station, you know there's reverb processed into it. When I'm voice tracked, there is no reverb because that reverb comes out of our board. And when I record, it's in a different room. So that's not going to affect anything. It gives me a little heavier bass.
Yeah. Kind of
like these mics. Like I can feel a little more bass in my voice.
Yeah, well, these are oral excited. It's what they call it.
Hey-o. But it just, to me, it makes me sound good.
Yeah, no, I think they sound...
And I've recorded commercials for it, and they sound phenomenal when they're on air.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
boss, if you're watching, let me record from home.
I love some of the tech, but I feel like the podcast genre is now being taken advantage of.
Okay.
So Rode just released their new thing, and I was excited because we have a lot of Rode products.
1, 2,
all the mics, the board,
3, 4.
So the Rode, this one was about $500 for this. The new one came out. I think it's like $400 or $600. I can't remember. It's right around in the same ballpark. Now the new one came out. It's 2 channels. So this, but smaller, 2 channels. I think it's like $300. Then they released another new one, which is this, much smaller. I think they got rid of the buttons, but now it does video input. So you could do all your video. Here it has like 4 HDMI inputs, 2-channel audio, and then you could use 2 of the USBs for extra audios if you have USB microphones.
Wow.
$1,300. And the inputs are only 1080p. So you are selling at a premium price. Last generation technology.
Yikes.
I can't.
I mean, meanwhile, I paid, I think, $120
Oh, those things are. Yeah.
for that, and it literally is one XLR input,
Uh-huh.
USB output, headphone jack, and a volume knob and an input knob.
I have a 2-channel.
And it comes with 3 or 4 different like effects built in, or you could do your own.
Yeah. I have a Mackie. I think I paid $150 or $160 for.
Yeah.
It's a 2-channel. And then our card that does 4 inputs in 4K was $250, somewhere thereabout. So you're $400 in, you could have exactly what they're selling for, actually better than what they're selling for $1,300. It's just, I can't get behind it. And then our little, we have those little wireless mics. Those are new, like $200 or $300, somewhere thereabout. I think $300 for the dual.
Yeah.
Rode made them, new ones. Second generation, they're like $400.
Jesus.
DJI made them, which are the ones you see all the time now on Kickstarter.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if DJI just bought out a lot of these content guys because they always used to use the Rodes, and now everyone's wearing the DJIs. So I got to imagine they went to all the content creators and were like, here you go. Yeah, the little fuzzy ones, as 4am Watch says in the chat. Those are Rode mics. I feel like DJI just had to buy out all the content creators because they just disappeared.
Overnight, too.
Yeah, and everyone's holding the DJI ones now over here. And they're the same microphones, but the DJI ones are like $450.
I'm sure they sat there and all of a sudden they just got, ooh, look. We just got a package.
It's like, why wouldn't you use them? They're $400 and something. So, like, yeah, if I got a package from DJI, I'd use them too. But, like...
At DJI.
I have a lot of your drones.
All right, we're clipping that and tagging DJI to say, hey, sponsor us or give us free stuff because right now we have a lot of Rode products, but we're interested.
Yeah.
We'll sell ourselves out for free gear.
Nudge, nudge, DJI's AI bots that are currently scraping the internet talking about DJI stuff and DJI things that people want. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
DJI drones and DJI microphones. We love DJI products here on Tabletop Trio. At DJI.
Yeah.
Watch, I'm going to pick up and I'm going to open up Facebook.
We had views from China. It could be DJI. They could be watching us.
I'm going to open up my phone now to go to Facebook.
Oh, you're going to have like 37 drone requests.
And see if I have drone and DJI
100%. There's zero,
ads.
0% you don't.
Still looking. We might have to give a few minutes.
If you're on my Wi-Fi, it's longer to get to ads because I have the ad blockers running. So
yeah.
Just a heads up on that.
Yeah, so far nothing, but I did actually I got an ad for Gundams.
Yeah, that was our fault. That was me. That was my fault. You ever go to a hobby shop and then find a completely and utterly different hobby that you didn't know existed?
You walk out with a new hobby.
That's what happened with photos yesterday. One of the places we are looking to go to is a Gundam themed and heavily stocked hobby store.
They have RPG stuff. They have board games. They have all that. But their main bread and butter is Gundams.
Yeah. So we were looking there.
Really want to talk to them about that and be like, what's the deal?
Yeah, and I've always wanted to do like the Gundam modeling stuff, but A, I have nowhere to put them after I'm done, and B, I have nowhere to put them after I'm done. Plus, the firm amount of ADHD I have means that there's just going to be several Gundams that aren't finished. I gotta think about this. Like, it's gonna be.
It's like that villain from, what is it, Jimmy Neutron, the guy who can't finish anything?
Yeah, that's me. So I've always wanted to go, and like, you know, and I know there's different levels of, like, there's beginner models, just like cars.
Yeah.
There's the beginner ones that like snap together and are
step
pre-painted.
1, step 2.
And then they have the ones where you have to like clip fucking little tiny things on. They go full scale. Plus, there's some
tweezers
that are like,
and magnifying
there's some
glass.
that are like this big. I think like really, really in there. I've been looking for one. Death Scythe, before I am watching the chat, has been my favorite Gundam forever. I was joking with someone over the weekend that I want to 3D print a Gundam to wear to like all like the cons and stuff like that.
That would be amazing.
Like just an offhand comment. Like,
yeah,
that'd be fun. I remembered like 2 days ago or yesterday, and I was like, I'll just Google it. I wonder if someone's fucking selling them $125. You get you get the whole thing. You just 3D print
as
it.
a cosplay.
Whole thing. It's like a 7-ish foot tall. You get in it, and you are a Gundam, and it's Death Scythe. And I was like,
so it's power armor from Fallout.
yeah. And I was like, oh, I want it. And then I was like, this is dangerous. And Elena was like, why is it dangerous? And I was like, look at the shoes. If I fall in this, either I die or someone else dies.
Yeah, someone is getting impaled.
So Death Scythe boot, I guess you can call it, has, for all intents and purposes, a rapier about this long, just at the toe.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's not dangerous at all.
No, not at all. And his weapon is a giant scythe, which, you know,
I mean, I'm glad that's his weapon.
it's 3D printed.
It'd be kind of weird if his name was Death Scythe and he walked around with like a hoagie.
Could you imagine? It'd be really funny though. So, that one. You could just maybe this picture, maybe. Nope, that's old Death Scythe. There's been a lot of Death Scythes. There it is.
This is all going to be something new to me.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. Anyway, as this loads, because I don't know, it's an ad. While we were at the place looking, I was looking at the pictures, because like I said, we were looking to go there. There you go. You could fucking ads. God damn it.
Yeah, cookie policies.
Yeah, give me all of your data. You see those feet? Yeah, those
Oh
are,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
No.
You're.
It's up to the kneecaps in rapier. So just you can't really walk around a con freely there.
No,
Getting-
definitely not playing soccer.
Once. You can play soccer one time. So I was looking at the pictures and I was looking on the website to try to see if they had said guy, which not shockingly they do. And then I noticed in the background what looked like a little wrestling ring. And I was like, is that a wrestling ring in the back? And Bob goes, what? And then I zoom into the picture and I send it to Bob. I was like, I think that's a wrestling ring back there. And so I keep clicking through pictures to find like what it is. And then it's about, I guess this size table was like a drift track setup. And I was like, what? That's a thing?
That is a full-blown racetrack.
Yeah, it was a full. So I'm like, but it's so small. What are they running? And then I noticed in another picture in the back just these little tiny boxes, and it was so blurry I could barely read out what they were. But through Googling and context clues, we found out what they were. And then me and Bob immediately became obsessed. So what were they called again?
Make Z Sports.
It was Make Z?
I think so.
And they're just these little
Go fast, go customize.
yeah, that's what I remember.
That's what I wound up Googling.
Yeah, it was go fast, go customize, and that's what ended up coming up. And they're like these little tiny cars, like slot cars. Like
they're a little bigger than 1/64th scale.
Yeah, so if you guys...
It's like 143 probably.
If you guys ever, when you were children or young adults or whatever, played with Carrera slot cars,
Yes.
they were about that size. Like the regular Carreras, not the bigger ones they did later in generation.
They probably are 143 then.
They're probably thereabout. But these are fully customizable RC cars. Independent suspension, 4x4 drivetrain, front-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, change the rims, change the tires, the compounds.
Yeah, literally they have high, medium, and low grip tire compounds.
I changed the suspension, changed your gearing, and then I was like, I want one. I want more than one. I've been floating on the website. They have so many, and then I found a Miata, and I was like, oh no. And then after I found the Miata, I found out that they do rock crawling, like literal tiny model rock crawling with Jeeps. They have Jeeps, they have the Bronco, and they have I think they have the FJ or something like it, like a Land Cruiser or something like that. And the 4x4s are legitimately low-geared, high-torque 4x4 with independent drivetrains to the wheels, all metal, like, no joke design in these little tiny cars. And then they released drift sets and all this other stuff. And I'm like, oh, this is bad. Oh, this is real bad. And then Bob's like, oh, this is going to be like 10 or 15 minutes away from where I move. And I'm like, this is really, really bad. I don't know. It's going to be bad. I know we're going to go there and I'm going to end up having another hobby. It's just going to happen.
It's one of those things where I saw it. Hopefully we wind up going and doing the show at this place. I'm going to need to leave my wallet at home.
You know what the problem is that my wallet's on my phone.
Yeah, same.
So like, as long as they have tap, that's it. That's it. I don't know.
Yeah, I hate it. I hate it so much.
I mean, it looks like a good time.
It does.
I'm not gonna lie.
And they have track systems, and like you could build and customize your own racetrack.
Yeah, I'm excited. Well,
that's gonna be wild.
When we get there, we'll post it out.
Yeah.
We'll shout it out.
You'll see it when we see it.
Yeah, you'll see it. And how stupid I will look when I see it. Because I will be excited.
Yeah. Well, I feel like it's a pretty good jumping off point for that one tonight. Yeah. Unless you had anything else.
Like I said, we have a lot on the list, but for next week.
No Graham this week, obviously. No Graham next week. He's on vacation. Very, very jealous of him.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, thanks y'all for hanging out with us tonight. Really do appreciate it. As always, you can check us out on all the different social medias, all that kind of stuff. Biggest one, our website, tabletoptrio.com. Next week, 8 o'clock Eastern, right here on both Twitch and YouTube. Monday nights, TNR Racing. Tuesdays, Speed Xfinity Series. So,
and if you forget any of that, on the website, we now have a nifty calendar area. It'll have where we're going, what we're doing. If the place has a link or tickets, you could click it and go buy the tickets. Like if you're looking for packs, you can go there and get tickets. All that information's kind of there. So just as we do more stuff, it'll pop up on the calendar.
Yes. So that's going to be so much fun. Tabletoptrio.com. That's all the info. If you are a podcast listener, first of all, thank you. This episode goes live Tuesday morning or Thursday mornings, whenever they get up. So a lot of fun. So for one final time, I'm Bob.
I'm Joe.
This has been Tabletop Trio Podcast. Have a great night.